39% of Americans are broke. And we saw this coming. The Secret Service director finally resigned and they hacked the planet. This is current events for July 23rd, 2024. This is the foundation. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. And let's get straight in to these current events. Well, make sure you check out welcometothefoundation.com. As of recording this, we are doing some updates, so the site is currently down. But I'm sure by the time you check this out, the site will be up. You know, if it's not, just be patient. We have some back end stuff that we're redoing, but you can still link in the description, sign up for the most comprehensive trustee training available, period. I'm not even just going to say on the internet. It's a little pricey to sign up, but you know, it's absolutely worth it. I would say this is an $8,500 value. So really it's a $7,500 value. You're going to learn how to administer trust, private contracts. You're going to learn how to properly stay away from self-dealing, avoid commingling. There's legal tax avoidance implications with regards to this. You're going to learn how to create your own trust indentures. So you don't need a guru. Link in the description. Sign up if you're interested. We're doing the dance, how to start your business. Very full, comprehensive course. You get your own login to our back end, what we call the private side of Welcome to the Foundation. You get your own login. You get your own portal access, your own dashboard. You will have access to this course for as long as you like. It does not expire. It's very comprehensive. I suggest you check it out. If you've ever wanted to start your own business and you didn't believe in yourself, didn't think you can do it, couldn't afford it, this course is for you. And last but not least, we have the Foundation magazine. Got to update this cover. But it is a luxurious experience. We are touching on topics that we don't touch on these shows every Wednesday. So with that being said, I think it's one of the most beautiful things we've ever done. We have a digital edition. We have a print edition. There's a link in the description. You get to choose. But yeah, we actually have a print magazine. It's absolutely luxurious. We love it. So let's jump into these current events. You think I was playing? I wasn't. 39% of Americans worry they can't pay bills. This is off of CNN. Nearly 4 in 10 of U.S. adults say they worry most or all of the time that their family's income won't be enough to meet expenses. This is according to a CNN poll they just did. That's up from 28% who expressed those concerns in December 2021, and it's similar to the numbers seen during the Great Recession, which was 37%. I just want to point out that 4 out of 10 is 40%. I don't know where they get the 39%. Maybe my maths are off. But, 4 of 10 is 40%. I think the 39% just, makes you think that it's in the 30s. It's kind of like what they do with pricing. $19.99. So you see $19, but it's really $20. You add tax. It's $26,000. I'm just going to let you know. Quote, the grocery store is just outrageous right now. But it's not just that. Everything has gone up. Clothing, my insurance. This is Angela Russell, an Ohio resident who works as a program analyst at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Russell, who has 2 adult children and 3 grandchildren, said she recently moved out of a rental home in Cincinnati in favor of one in a rural area where the rent is cheaper. 2/3 of Americans, 65%, say in an open-ended question that expenses and the cost of living are the biggest economic problem facing their family today. That's down 75% in the summer of 2022, but well ahead of the 43% who mentioned an issue related to expenses in the summer of 2021. The typical household is spending $925 more a month to purchase the same goods and services as 3 years ago. This is according to Moody's Analytics. And then listen, Inflation isn't down. Inflation is down. Price isn't. And I'm glad they said inflation, right? Because with inflation, the Federal Reserve pushes for 2% inflation on the currency. And I try to do my best to describe this in layman terms. Really what inflation is the loss of purchasing power. It's the loss of value of your dollars. And inflation is high due to the fact that the interest rates are high, the federal funds rates are high. But I mean, if you just go for the Fed target 2% inflation, in 5 years, you've lost 10% of the value of the currency. The currency has lost 10% of its value. So that's just at 2%. And that's what the Federal Reserve says that their target rate is. You can look at this. You can look it up. I could be crazy. Don't believe me. But it happens in all fiat monetary systems. Fiat means that the currency is not backed by any gold, silver, or some sort of commodity. It is just out there. All currencies are fiat currencies all over the world, and all fiat currencies eventually go to zero due to inflation. They'll just say they printing money. When Congress says we're going to give billions of dollars and they print money, the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, they just make money. All that does is create more dollars that are chasing the same amount of goods and services. So naturally, prices have to increase. It's natural supply and demand. And they say inflation is down. It's not. If you're paying $925 more a month to purchase the same goods and services as 3 years ago, that is higher inflation than 2%. Just want to put that out there. Let's move forward. Cracks in U.S. stock market calm. Boost allure of portfolio protection. Did you guys know there were cracks in the stock market? Investors are eyeing portfolio protection from a potentially rough stretch in U.S. stocks as they face political uncertainty, big tech earnings, and seasonal weakness. Excitement over advances in artificial intelligence and gradually cooling inflation have helped the S&P 500 rise nearly 17% this year. That gain has been accompanied by one of the most placid periods of trading in recent memory. The benchmark index has gone 355 sessions without a daily decline of 2% or more, the longest stretch since 2007. Bets and options markets show investors expect that calm to be tested in coming weeks. The CBOE Volatility Index, the VIX, known as Wall Street's fear gauge because it measures demand for protection against market swings, jumped to its highest level since April last week following a sell-off in technology stocks that dealt the S&P 500 its second largest weekly drop of 2024. Though stocks rebounded on Monday, there are signs investors are growing increasingly concerned about everything from tech earnings to more twists and turns in the U.S. presidential election. Even artificial intelligence darling NVIDIA, which is up 138% this year, is being regarded with a comparative degree of caution. Yeah. I wonder, where is NVIDIA? You should look at where that is. I wonder if it's geopolitics. Bottom line, cracks in the U.S. stock market, calm. Did you know there was cracks? NASDAQ has the worst day since 2022 as stocks, get up out of here, Google. As tech stocks get slammed. Tech shares slumped today. Not today. What day is this? Oh, this is from last week. Tech stocks slumped last Wednesday as investors shed the behemoth that fueled Wall Street's monster stock rally this year. So this is what they were talking about. It calmed. UPS cuts margin target as new customers pick slower, cheaper delivery. Yeah, this is not good. When you see shipping being hurt, and then you have new customers who are automatically price sensitive. United Parcel Service missed Wall Street's estimates for second quarter earnings and lowered its 2024 operating margin target today after two new e-commerce customers flooded its network with slower, lower profit delivery services. I mean, they offer these services. Shares of the world's biggest package delivery firm, seen as a bellwether for the global economy, tumbled 12.5% in early trading and pulled shares of rival FedEx down 2%. It's going down. UPS shares on pace for worst day. So you got CNBC and you got Reuters. I don't know how Reuters is giving me all these free articles. Usually they try to lock me out. Maybe y'all did it right. Comcast misses quarterly revenue estimates on weak studio theme park business. You got Comcast, you got UPS. Excuse me. It's rumbling and tumbling. It's going down. CNBC Secret Service director resigns over shooting outrage. I saw some of the Senate questioning. I mean, with all due respect, the woman just seemed indignant, which really seemed disrespectful. I saw a couple of the senators just kind of really lash out. I think, the speaker was talking about decorum. It's getting bad. If you've ever seen, some of that, the parliament stuff over in the UK, they'll box each other. They will box. The U.S. Congress is starting, in my opinion, to look like the parliament over there, the queens and the kings over there, and in England's. U.S. Secret Service director resigned today amid widespread outrage over her agency's failure to prevent the attempted out of here of former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania campaign rally. Cheadle's resignation, which was first reported by NBC News, citing sources, came a day after she was blasted by members of the House committee at a hearing on the Secret Service actions leading up to the July 13th rally. Cheadle rejected calls at the hearing to resign, saying she was best qualified person to head the Secret Service. I don't know how that was. After what happened, it kind of shows that she wasn't the best qualified, which is responsible for protecting the president, vice president, their family members, and leading presidential candidates. The director angered members of the House Oversight and Accountability Committee by refusing to answer many questions about the Secret Service's actions surrounding Trump's rally, where the Republican presidential nominee narrowly avoided being out of here by Thomas Crooks. On Tuesday, Cheadle in a letter wrote to Secret Service staff, in light of recent events, it is with a heavy heart that I have the difficult decision to step down as your director. Yeah, after that hearing, that was bad. It was really bad. That was not a good look. I watched a few minutes and just knew she was out of here. I don't even know why she stayed so long. But, just goes to show a global tech outage brought many computer systems and businesses to a screeching halt. Here is what happened. Overnight on Thursday and into Friday, several states, including Alaska and Arizona, experienced 911 service outages. Some hospitals also began experiencing technology issues overnight. I mean, there was factories, their factory components weren't working. They couldn't arm their alarms. The lifts weren't working. The hydraulic machines weren't working. Banks weren't working. The airlines, the flight reservations. I mean, it was bad. CrowdStrike. It was CrowdStrike. Or at least CrowdStrike is the one that's saying, claiming responsibility. They have a lot of clients, some cybersecurity dance, whoever pushed that update, I'm sure they got fired. But this was unprecedented. And, I said that we're going to see more cyber attacks. We're going to see more technology failures. And they're just picking up more and more and more. Luckily, this was an accident, it appears. But it just goes to show how serious some of the intricacies and the interworkings and interrelations between this tech is, and how dependent as a world we have become on it. It's just all bad. U.S. existing home sales slump in June. Median price hits record high. So you got record high home prices. Why? Because you have private trust investment companies, real estate investment trust. You have private companies. There's a lot of buying on the corporate level of single family homes. I'm just letting y'all know. Even though we have foreclosures that are ticking up, so you got a lot of foreclosed homes that are hitting the market, they're getting snatched up. I'm watching as it happens. You know, that own nothing, be happy thing, it's really hitting. U.S. existing sales fell more than expected in June as the median house price set another record high, but improving supply and declining mortgage rates offered hope that activity could rebound in the months ahead. I mean, so many people have lost their jobs. Home sales dropped 5.4% last month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.89 million units, the lowest level since December. The National Association of Realtors said today economists polled by Reuters had forecast home resales would slip to a rate of 4 million. So that's a lot lower. You know, you're talking hundreds, over 100,000, you know what I'm saying? Home resales, which account for a large portion of U.S. housing sales, declined 5.4% on a year-on-year basis in June. The median existing home price soared 4.1% from a year earlier to an all-time high of $426,900. Y'all got $500,000 laying around for a single-family home, and median, that's the median price. That's the average price. That's the middle price, middle. That's ridiculous. The second straight month it scaled at record high. Home prices increased in all 4 regions. Home resales are counted at the close of a contract. Sales in June likely reflect a contract signed in prior 2 months when the average rate on the popular 30-year fixed rate mortgage was above 7%. Whoa, we're going back to the 70s and the 80s with this interest rates, y'all. The average rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage dropped to a 4-month low of 6.77% last week, down from 6.89% and matching the average during the same period of 2023. Data from mortgage finance agency Freddie Mac showed. You see, they're talking about this inventory rise. Doesn't matter. Housing inventory increased 3.1% to 1.32 million units last month. Supply jumped 23.4% from 1 year ago. A surge in insurance premiums across the country as weather-related claims rise is forcing some homeowners to put their properties on the market. And then, that's true. That's true, but people they're losing their homes, man. They're starting to lose their homes. This stuff is getting serious. They're talking about the Fed pivoting and dropping interest rates in September. We're going to see what happens. But this isn't good. Let's go. How to protect yourself from iPhone thieves locking you out of your device. Basically, don't let them see your password. But that doesn't help if you get robbed at, bang point, and they make you give them your passcode. I mean, are you going to give them your passcode, or are you going to get gangsta on them? So, yeah, there you go. Back up your phone regularly. That's what they're saying. It's becoming harder to get and keep a car. Get out of here, Google. You can't get a house. Now you can't get a car. You see where I'm going? When Greg Cook's car of 12 years, a 2010 Honda Fit, up and quit on him in May 2022, he knew it would land him between a rock and a hard place. He couldn't afford to go without a car. He knew he'd be out of work soon. Federal funding ran out for the poke response position he held for 2 years, and that the job hunt would be challenging because he relocated to a smaller, more affordable, but more remote town in Oregon after losing his steady performing arts job to the Panorama. Quote, when I'm filling out an application, one of the questions I've noticed is, do you have a reliable transportation to get to and from work? Can you commute? This is what Cook said. He's 56, but without consistent work, he feared he couldn't afford a car. Cook did the math, made a pros and cons list, and bought a new car. He locked in a low rate, but that was one of the few bright spots since that time. Not only have the dozens of job applications been unfruitful, but Cook, like many other Americans, was slammed by exponentially rising prices. His car, the monthly payment, the fast rising insurance, fuel, and maintenance costs takes up 30% share of his monthly budget. Still, he can't afford to lose it, so he is using what odd jobs he picks up and the savings he built for a rainy day to keep current on the 6-year loan. Quote, it's sort of like grabbing a few pennies out of the piggy bank every few days, and eventually that piggy bank weighs a little lighter, and there seem to be more days ahead than there are pennies. Cars or trucks are lifelines for many Americans, but after 3+ years of painfully high inflation and now a slowing economy, basically less jobs, people don't have jobs. They become liabilities. Delinquencies are climbing at rates not seen since the Great Recession. Defaults have grown and repossessions have jumped 23% from last year. And buying a car is no cakewalk either. Credit is increasingly harder to come by, and rejection rates are spiking. So you got homes, you have cars, this, that, you'll own nothing and be happy. Jump this from Wikipedia. Wow, can I speak? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Alternatively, you'll own nothing and be happy is a phrase originating in a 2016 video by the World Economic Forum. The phrase gained currency among critics of the World Economic Forum after the organization announced the Great Reset initiative for global economic recovery after the panorama. In 2023, Jim, whoever his name is, Geragdy. Very few of us see owning our own homes, owning our own cars, and owning our own clothes as a major problem to be solved. The sort of crisis that requires Danish legislators and global business elites to gather and come up with a plan to rescue us. Yeah, I saw the video. Did you see the video? I think I did an episode where we put the video on there. But yeah, there was a straight up World Economic Forum video. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Basically saying you will rent everything. And I don't think it is a coincidence that it is becoming increasingly difficult to purchase or own a home. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to purchase or own a car. Now, you have people who have mortgages, and every mortgage that I know of requires that there's homeowners insurance. So if you have a mortgage and your insurance company cancels your insurance because it's flooding too much or there's too many fires or something in your area, and you have a home, you have to sell that home or you have to pay it completely off. It's called accelerating the mortgage. And most people don't have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 just laying around. And how do you get another loan if you can't get insurance on the home? So this is becoming an issue. It's something to pay attention to. I suggest dollar cost averaging your purchases of precious metals, specifically gold and silver. What that means is you take an amount every 2 weeks, every month, $100. Let's say $100. Let's say $50. Let's say $25. Doesn't matter. You pick an amount. Every 2 weeks, every month, a regular interval. You can do it every paycheck, whatever, $25. You can do that. $25, take it, go buy some silver. Every single 2 weeks. $25, take it, go buy some silver. Take it, go buy some silver. It's called dollar cost averaging. So, do it. It's the easiest thing that you can do to protect yourself against this inflating currency. The other thing you can do that will cost you nothing is if you see pennies and they were produced in 1982 or previously, they contain real copper. Keep those. And I would suggest that you keep all your nickels. That's what I would say. I hope you learned something, because this stuff is important. It's very important to me. With that being said, as I say all the time, y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you are thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on the show. We're doing the show tomorrow, the foundation episode. Peace, y'all.